Hey all, Tom here. Welcome back to another video on the Racing Joker channel. I'm in GTA Online. Let's put that gun away. That's not company policy. I thought it would be kind of fun to go over some of the things I learned in truck driving school in a video game, because I don't have a truck and I don't know how else to really go over it. So here we have a truck. We're at a shipping yard, and we're not really going to do any GTA 5 typical things today. We're going to be just doing education. So here we've got 18-wheeler, 2 sets of drive axle tires. They're not dualies, I don't think. Are they dualies? Oh, they are. Okay, good. And basically what we're going to be doing is what's called the pre-trip inspection. This was basically the most important part, or what felt like the most important part of going to truck driving school. Because the actual act of driving was very straightforward. All you had to do was get used to it, and you got very good at it. I actually learned how to drive in a manual truck, where you have to do double clutching and all that sort of good stuff, because the gearboxes don't have synchros, and it was pretty difficult at first. Though I am probably going to aim to drive mostly autos for work, just so I can focus more on the actual act of driving, and my ability to respond to emergency situations is not impeded by my ability to shift down or up or whatever it may be. This truck is slightly damaged. Don't worry about that. So let's start with the pre-trip. You know, before you start working, you got to do an inspection. Now, I don't know if you'd really be doing this entire pre-trip, but we're going to do it for this video. So we walk up to the truck. We check to make sure it's not leaning from side to side. If it is leaning from side to side, that could be a result of low tire pressure, bad suspension, or a load shift, all of which are not ideal. Then you want to look underneath the truck to make sure there is no leaks of fuel, oil, coolant, or power steering fluid. You want to make sure the front bumper is properly secured, not damaged. That's something you have to say a lot. Properly secured, not damaged. I woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat multiple times saying that and scaring my wife. Front bumper license plate, properly secured, no damage, and up to date. Trucks I'm driving are probably not going to be this flat face, so just imagine it has kind of the nose. So check the hood, make sure it's properly secured, not damaged. Make sure the if there's a fender mirror on the front of the truck, make sure that the bracket for that is properly secured, not damaged. Let's see, front headlights must be properly secured, not damaged, working properly, clean and clear. Front indicators must be amber in color, properly secured, not damaged, and working properly. Those are also your four-ways. What else is there? Windshields, properly secured, not damaged. Windshield wipers, also clean and clear. Windshield wipers, properly secured, not damaged, and applying the right amount of pressure to the windshield. The rubber on the windshield wipers must be properly secured, not damaged, and soft and pliable, in good condition. Your windshield should have a DOT inspection sticker and an insurance sticker. At the top of the truck, you're going to have either an air dam or a sun visor. That has to be properly secured, not damaged. And if we get out of view here, you'll see there are 5 lights on the top. They actually are supposed to be amber in color. Come on, Rockstar. There are 5 lights on the top. They should be amber in color, visible from 500 feet at night. Middle 3 ones are called your ID lights. The ones on the corners are called your clearance lights. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything else. Let me think. I'm not reading the script. All my packets are still in my car. So then we would lift the hood. In the truck we were testing on, the alternator was on the side here. The alternator should be properly secured, no damage. Mounted securely, no missing bolts or parts. It is belt driven. So make sure the belt has no less than 3/4 of an inch of free play. Head over to the other side, and you've got your water pump. Make sure it's mounted securely, not leaking, no missing bolts or parts. It is also belt driven. Make sure the belt has no more than 3/4 of an inch of free play. And then in the back of the engine, you've got your power steering pump and compressor. I think that's right. Yep. Those are gear driven. They should both be mounted securely with no missing bolts or parts. Then you want to check your fluid levels. Make sure it is not low on. Make sure that check your oil first. Make sure it's all the assembly for the dipstick and all that is properly secured, not damaged, not leaking, and is filled to the proper level or to the fill line. Check your coolant. Make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. And then you move on to the rest of the stuff under the hood. Let's start with the suspension. Hard to really see it in this game, unfortunately. but you've got the front hanger up here, properly secured, no damaged, and properly greased. You've got your leaf springs. Make sure they're properly secured. They can have no more than 25% of damage to them and none to the main spring, and they must be properly greased. La da 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 da. And then you've got your shock absorber. It has to be properly secured, not damaged, with rubber bushings on the top and bottom, soft and pliable. No leaks. You want your saddles and U-bolts to be properly secured, not damaged, and tight. If they are not tight, you will see shiny metal on top of the saddles. You want to check your shackle. Ours didn't have a retainer clamp. I think that's what keeps for the saddles from moving around. So no retainer clamp. If you had one, you check that as well. But we move on to the shackles. Must be properly secured, not damaged, and greased properly. And then we check the rear hanger. Must be properly secured and not damaged. Now I've got my air brake certification as well, because all the trucks have air brakes. Air brake drums, drum brakes, blah, blah, blah. So let's move on to the brakes. So the brakes, to check those, you check the air lines going into the brake chamber. Cannot be cracked, broken, or leaking. Check the brake chamber and clamp. Make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, not leaking. The way the brakes work, you have to explain this. Air goes into the brake chamber, pushes on the diaphragm, which pushes on the push rod. The push rod pushes on the slack adjuster. The push rod is connected to the slack adjuster via a clevis, roller pin, and cotter pin. The slack adjuster must be properly secured, not damaged, be properly greased, and have no more than 1 inch of free play with the brakes released. The slack adjuster turns the camshaft. The camshaft turns the S-cam, which moves on rollers. This turns the brake shoe against the brake drum. I think I got that. Right. Check the brake drum shoe. Must be properly secured, not damaged. Must be clean and free of oil and debris. Make sure to check the brake drum. Make sure it's properly secured, not damaged. No illegal welds. Illegal welds are welds that weren't put there by the manufacturer. Must be clean and free of oil and debris. If there is oil, then that could be a sign of an inner wheel seal leak. Blah, blah, blah. And then check the return springs. And then check the return springs. Oh, and for the brake drum shoe, it can have no less than a 1/4 inch of brake material, if I haven't already said that. And then moving on to the wheels, we want to start by checking the tires, all 3 sides of the tires for abrasions, bulges. What the flip? Want to check all 3 sides of the tires for abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Must have even tread wear across the top. The steering axle tires cannot be recapped. They must have at least 4/32 of an inch of tread in all major grooves. How do I change the time? Okay. It must have 4/32 of an inch of tread in all major grooves. Check the inner and outer beads. Make sure it's a good bead and not leaking. Check to make sure all 10 lug nuts are pregnant. We'll get to that later. Start with the rim. The rim must be properly secured, not damaged, and have no illegal welds. Then check to make sure all 10 lug nuts are present, properly secured, not damaged, and tight. If they're not tight, you'll see rust behind them, or on a steel rim, or white powder on an aluminum one. And then in the center, you've got an outer oil hub, which you would use to check the oil levels. If you've got a clock, it'll be between 5 and 7. If you can't do that, there'll be a rubber cap you can take off, and you would check it manually, like with your finger or something, and it should measure to about 1 inch of oil. Check your valve stem, which this doesn't have, because it's a video game. Make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, visible from outside the vehicle, is not leaking, has a cap, and when measured with a tire pressure gauge, it measures to about 100 PSI. And then power steering components. We've got steering shaft. I dropped my controller and I blew up my truck. Oh, there's a truck over there. There's a truck over here. I forgot I turned on explosive melee. Let's turn that off. That was pretty dumb. That's okay. This truck is more accurate anyways. Here we go. Oh, well, I had to break into it. Let's bring this over to a trailer and just pretend to park it up against a trailer. Where are the trailers? Can I just back it up into one of these? Or is it not going to like me doing that? It's not really going to like me doing that. Oh, it connected. Okay, so just for your guys' awareness, I blew up my truck, and I'm having to do the steering components on a different truck, so the truck is going to change appearance. Now I can't blow it up by hitting it. Steering components. This is more kind of the truck I'd be driving. You've got your steering shaft. Should be properly secured, not damaged, greased at the top. You've got your U-bolt at the bottom, should be properly secured, not damaged, and have no free play. You've got your power steering gearbox, should be properly secured, not damaged. Your power steering reservoir, properly secured, not damaged, and not leaking. You've got the pitman arm, the drag link, the steering ring knuckle, steering ring arm, and the tie rod, all properly secured, not damaged, and secured in place with a castle nut and cotter pin, and they should be greased properly. There, steering components. All right. And that is Section A. Section A is basically walking up to the truck, doing the kind of the front and outside, and then doing the stuff under the hood. So like the alternator and stuff, and then you talk about the stuff underneath, like suspension, brakes, and tires. Section B is kind of more the side of the truck, the back, and then also back here. So let's do that. So Section B. Let's just close this. Start with the door mirror bracket. Should be properly secured, not damaged. The door mirror should be properly secured, not damaged, clean and clear. Inner and outer door hinge should be properly secured, not damaged, and able to support the weight of the door. And then the inner and outer door latch should be working properly, able to open and close the door, and is properly secured and not damaged. Grab handles on the inside and outside should be properly secured, not damaged, and able to support your weight. Inner door handle should be properly secured, not damaged. Close that. Then we've got fuel tank. Should be properly secured, not damaged, and secured into place with 2 saddle straps. That's these 2 things here, and they should be insulated with rubber insulators. The rubber insulators are there to prevent static electricity from happening and from holes being worn into the tank. Pretty good things to prevent. Check the fuel lines, make sure they're not cracked, broken, or leaking. Check your fuel cap, make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, tight, and vented with a rubber gasket. Make sure the rubber on the inside is soft and pliable. The rubber can be in the cap or on the neck of the fuel tank. I don't know where the battery box is on this. Is there a battery box? This doesn't have a battery box, but it should. So the battery box, wherever it is in this universe, should be properly secured, not damaged, and have a lid on it as per federal law. The wires in the battery should all be properly secured, not damaged, free of corrosion, not leaking. The wires should have no cuts or frays. We were just doing the battery. Like I said, the battery should be free of corrosion, no leaks. Wires should have no cuts or frays, and all that good stuff. Yeah. All right, now we're on to this truck. So then we've got stuff on the back here. We've got splash guards. We can't call these things mud flaps. We have to call them splash guards. So first off, splash guards should have 100% DOT reflective tape at the top, and they should be no more than 8 inches off the ground. You've got your steering axle suspension. You've got your front hanger properly secured, not damaged, and properly greased. You got your shock absorber properly secured, not damaged, no leaks, with rubber bushings on the top and bottom. You've got your saddles and U-bolts. Should be properly secured, not damaged, and tight. If they're not tight, you'll see shiny metal on the top of the saddles. Upper and lower airbag support should be properly secured, not damaged. The airbag should be properly secured, not damaged, and not leaking. Oh, frick. I want my truck back. Come back. I think this has a shackle. The shackle should be properly secured, not damaged, because it's a little different suspension-wise from the back, because on the front, you got the leaf springs, and on the back, it's air ride. Anyways, that should be suspension, because there's no rear hanger. Then you've got the brakes. They're exactly the same as the front. Check the air lines going into the brake chambers. Cannot be cracked, broken, or leaking. Check the brake chamber and clamp. Must be properly secured, not damaged, not leaking. Check the air. Air goes into the Brake chamber pushing on the diaphragm pushes on the push rod pushes on the slack adjuster. The push rod is connected to a slack adjuster via a clevis roller pin and cotter pin. The slack adjuster must be properly secured, not damaged, properly greased, and have no more than 1 inch of free play while being properly greased, and the free play should be present with the brakes released. And then, of course, you've got the slack adjuster being able to turn the camshaft. Camshaft turns the S-cam, which moves on rollers. This pushes the brake shoe against the brake drum. Brake drum shoe must have no less than 1/4 inch of brake material and must be clean and free of oil and debris. The brake drum must be properly secured, not damaged, have no illegal welds. Must be clean and free of oil and debris. If there is oil, it could be a sign of an inner wheel seal leak. Check the return springs, must be properly secured, not damaged, and working properly. Hey. Oh, frick. And then we've got the drive tires. Check all 3 sides of the tires for abrasions, bulges, and cuts. Must have even tread wear across the top. They can be recaps. It must be the same size and type across the axle. Same with the front here. I forgot to say that earlier. Same size and type across the axle. Same size and type across the axle. Must have at least 2/32 of an inch in all major grooves. An inch of tread in all major grooves. Blah, blah, blah. Since these are dualies, they must have at least 4 inches of space between them. They don't really seem to in this, I'll be perfectly honest. And the rims must be butted together. Inner and outer beads must be a good bead, no leaks. Check the rim, properly secured, no damage, no illegal welds. Check to make sure all 10 lug nuts are present, properly secured, not damaged, and tight. If they're not tight, there will be rust behind them on a steel rim or white powder on an aluminum one. Check the axle plate, make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, because there's not going to be an outer oil hub on these. We've done brakes, we've done suspension, we've done tires. Is there anything else I need to do? On the back here, we've also got your catwalk side steps. Must be properly secured, not damaged, free of ice and debris, able to support your weight. There should be a grab handle here. Properly secured, not damaged, able to support your weight. We've got the catwalk that I'm standing on. Must be properly secured, not damaged. And the frame must be properly secured, not damaged. You got the drive shaft that you can see there. Must be properly secured, not damaged. Exhaust mounting frame must be properly secured, not damaged, and check the mufflers for leaks. If there are leaks, the telltale sign is excessive black soot. Delicious. And then we talk about the back here. We've got our... Now, this isn't quite how it is in real life, because I don't think these are supposed to be amber. But you've got your reverse lights. Must be properly secured, not damaged. Clean and clear or white in color and working properly. Check your four-ways and flashers. Make sure they're properly secured, not damaged, and they're supposed to be red in color because they're also your brake lights. Those are supposed to be brake lights. There is supposed to be a side box. I guess this is the side box, this big tall thing. Must be properly secured, not damaged. That is section B. Now, you do basically what everyone has to do in the test in section E, and then the tester will pick section A, B, or C. So, section E is basically stuff inside the cab. Inside the cab, you've got... it's basically just pointing at stuff and saying what you see and making sure it's properly secured, not damaged, and not leaking most of the time. So, first things first, I get into the truck and I make sure to check that my seat is properly secured to the floor. I adjust it and make sure it supports my weight. Check my mirrors, make sure they're properly secured, not damaged, clean and clear, and adjusted for me. Those are pretty not clear. All right, section E. You get into the truck. Check your seat. Make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, able to support your weight, adjusted to your liking. Same with the mirrors. Make sure they're properly secured, not damaged, clean and clear, and adjusted to your liking. Good. Now, to do a safe start on the truck, you should push in the clutch and not turn on the engine, but turn on the electronics. Let the gauges rise and fall. Let the ABS light turn on and turn off. And then you turn it on. Keep your hand by the key for 5 seconds as the oil pressure builds between 40 and 60 psi. If it doesn't do that, turn it off. Once it has done that, you can slowly release the clutch. While I'm at it, I can check my gauges, check the oil pressure gauge, as it said. Operating pressure should be between 40 and 60 psi. Check your water temp gauge, make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, and working properly. If it's doing that, it should, when at operating temperatures, be between 180 and 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Check your voltmeter gauge. should be working properly and be indicating somewhere between 12 and 14 volts. And meter, I think is what it's called. And then you've got your fuel gauge should be properly secured, not damaged, indicating you have fuel. And then your air pressure gauges. Of the trucks we had primary and secondary. It looks like this truck has that too in the bottom right there. Those should be properly secured, not damaged, working properly, and indicating we have a fully charged system. A fully charged system means you have 120 to 125 psi of pressure in the tanks. That air is used to operate the brakes and so on. Those are all working. We've checked our gauges, properly secured, not damaged. Checking our safety equipment. Let's put on our seat belt. Should be able to hold me into the seat, have no cuts or frays, properly secured, all that good stuff. I should have a 10-pound ABC fire extinguisher, fully charged, up to date, and secured into place with a safety pin. I need 3 reflective red triangles. And I need circuit breakers or fuses to replace all the different ones on the truck. Now, moving on to the right over here, I can't see it. I really can't see it. I guess this doesn't have a gear shift. Well, that's fine. So, check your gear shift. If it's manual anyways, make sure it has free play from sidewall to sidewall. It's properly secured, not damaged. Check your defrosters, that it works on all heat settings and all fan configurations. Check your trailer hand valve. That operates the trailer service brakes exclusively. Must be properly secured, not damaged, and not leaking. Check both brake valves. Make sure they're properly secured, not damaged. The brake valves allow you to operate the spring brakes of either the truck or the trailer. Make sure they're properly secured, not leaking. Check your flashers, make sure they're properly secured. Check your flashers, make sure they're working properly as indicated on the dash. Check your indicators, make sure they're working properly as indicated on the dash. Check your horn, make sure the electric horn and the air horn is working properly. Check your lights, make sure your running lights, high beams, and full-on brights are all working properly. Make sure your pedals are properly secured, not damaged, have no debris obstructing the free range of movement. Your fuel and brake pedals should have no free play, but your clutch should have at least 1 inch of free play. All pedals must be rubber grooved, rubber booted, or metal grooved. Your steering wheel should have no more than 1 inch of free play and be properly secured and not damaged. Your windshield should be properly secured, not damaged. And talk about your DOT stickers and all that. Talk about your windshield wipers, because you usually start with this for the test. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. I think that is almost everything for inside the cab. But then I have to do what's called a leak down, fan down test, where basically I would put it into low gear, turn off the truck, turn off the parking brakes. That would cause the system to lose 10 to 15 pounds of air pressure. And after that initial loss, you should lose no more than 3 psi in a minute. And you're also checking for air leaks. After you've done that, that's called the static test. You would do what's called the application test. If you've got an application gauge, you would apply 90 pounds of pressure to the brake pedal. If you don't have an application gauge, you just press it in firmly. After that initial 10 to 15 psi of loss, again, you would check to make sure you're not losing more than 4 psi of air pressure in a minute while listening for leaks. Once you've done that, you would then fan down the brakes to about 60 psi with the electronics on, because you need the electronics on, because you are testing the low air warning dash, light, and buzzer. Once you have confirmed that is working, you can turn the electronics off if you want, and then you fan them down to more between 45 and 20 psi. The tractor protection valve will pop out the trailer air supply valve button, activating the trailer spring brakes, because basically what happens is when the truck is running normally and you're driving, you've got air in the system keeping the trailer spring brakes from turning on. And when that system loses air, it turns on the trailer spring brakes, which is the parking brakes, which are, for parking purposes, more reliable than air brakes. So those are on. You keep fanning them down, and then between 40 and 20 psi, the tractor spring brakes will turn on, and all of your parking brakes and emergency brakes have been confirmed to be working. Then what you would do is you would turn the truck back on, because all you can do now is put air back into the system. So this is called the recovery test. What you would do, put the truck back into neutral, because you've got the brakes holding you into place again, and you would rev it at 1,000 RPMs, and you would do that for 3 to 3.5 minutes, because in 3 to 3.5 minutes you'll get up to 80 psi. Once you're at 80 psi, it should take only 45 seconds to get to 100 psi. At 100 psi, the compressor's governor valve will kick open, letting air into the primary air tank. And at 120, 125 psi, the system will be fully charged, and the governor valve should kick off. If it doesn't kick off, and it reaches about 150 psi, the primary air tank's safety relief valve will open to let out the excess air. And if that doesn't work, well, pay attention to your gauge, because otherwise that tank's just going to explode. So that's the recovery test. Once you're at 120, 125, you can stop revving. And then all that's left is the 4-point brake test. That is to test the individual brakes in your whole combination vehicle. So what you can do is you can push in the trailer air supply valve. That will turn off the trailer spring brakes, and you can try and move, and you shouldn't go anywhere, indicating that your tractor spring brakes are working. Then you would pull that valve back out and push in the tractor parking brake valve, turning off the tractor parking brakes. You would try to move again, and you would be pulling on the trailer spring brakes, and you shouldn't go anywhere, indicating that they are working. Then you would turn off both valves and pull down on the trailer hand valve to turn on just the trailer service brakes. The service brakes are what you use when the truck is in service, when you're driving normally, when you're coming to a stop at a stoplight, or if a naked man is in the street. You hit the brake pedal, that turns on the service brakes. So you pull down on the trailer hand valve, that turns on the normal service brakes on the trailer. You try and move, you go nowhere. A+, good job. And then finally, to test the service brakes of the whole system, you would get up to about 5 miles an hour and then stop. And if you feel it tug unevenly from either side, that means your brakes are out of adjustment and need to be adjusted. If they don't do that and they don't pull unevenly, well, that just means your brakes are good to go. And now for the rest of Section E. We've got coupling stuff. So there should be air lines and an electrical cord connecting the tractor to the trailer. So there are 2 air lines there. And so we check our fittings, our lines, and what's called glad hands connecting the lines to the trailer. All should be properly secured, not damaged, and not cracked, broken, or leaking. The red line is called the trailer air supply line, or the emergency line. It supplies air to the trailer and operates the trailer spring brakes. When the truck is operating normally, there's always air in the system because, whenever you push in the trailer air supply valve, it puts air into the system, turning off the trailer parking brakes or spring brakes, whatever you want to call them. And then the blue line is the service line. It operates the service brakes. You put air into this line by pulling down on the trailer hand valve or using just the brake pedal. The air lines, if they are damaged, must just be replaced. But if the electrical cord is damaged, it can be temporarily repaired. Unplug the cord, make sure it is on both ends, make sure it's not damaged. Check the pins in the trailer that it plugs into. It's got 7 pins, should be properly secured, not damaged, and free of corrosion. Plug it in, make sure the safety latch goes over it, locking it into place. Disconnect the air lines by pulling up on the glad hands. They've got rubber grommets that are there, should be in good condition, soft and pliable. To put it back on, start at 90 degrees and pull down, and it'll lock into place. All good. And then the 5th wheel, that is this thing here, connecting the trailer to the tractor. Hold on, let me just change the time of day. So, more coupling stuff. Oh, frick. I was trying to sneak to kind of kneel down, but it's fine. So, starting off, we want to check the air line. Cannot be cracked, broken, or leaking. Check the 5th wheel mounting plate. Make sure it's properly secured, not damaged, and has all mounting bolts. What is it? How is it? Secured in place, present, properly secured, not damaged. Check the locking pins. Make sure they're properly secured, not damaged, secured in the lock positions. Make sure there's no obstructions underneath the 5th wheel. Make sure the 5th wheel release lever is properly secured, not damaged, secured in a lock position with a safety latch. Make sure the pivot pin is properly secured, not damaged, secured into place with a safety pin. Make sure the fifth wheel plate is properly secured, not damaged, and greased properly. There should be no space between the fifth wheel plate and the apron, which is the trailer part that goes over it. The locking jaws should be properly secured, no damage, and secured over the shank of the kingpin. The trailer thing that comes down that it hooks into, that should also be properly greased. The apron should be properly secured and not damaged. I think that's it for that. Now, this isn't a test, so if I get that wrong, it's okay. Section C is all about the trailer. Like I said, when you start the test, you start it inside the truck. You do the inside the cab stuff. Then you get out, talk about the coupling. And then you do section A or B like I did earlier. Or section C. I did B for my test. Okay, so first we start with the bulkhead and the sidewall. Make sure they're properly secured, no damage, and have no bulges. A bulge could be a result of a load shift. Check the clearance lights at the top. Must be properly secured, not damaged, and amber in color, and visible from 500 feet at night, and they must be clean. And then, moving a little back here, make sure, if you can check underneath, I can't, make sure the cross members, the little bars, all the way throughout the trailer from about here to here, because the apron starts here. Cross members go all the way down to back here. Make sure they're properly secured, not damaged, and all that good stuff. Check to make sure your rivets are all properly secured, not damaged. Check to make sure you've got 50% DOT reflective tape along the edge of the trailer. At the bottom, what are you looking at? Okay. Rivets, properly secured, not damaged, starting from here to about the back of the trailer. Anything else? 50% DOT reflective tape along the edge at the bottom. And then you've got your air lines. Should be properly secured, no damage, not cracked, broken, or leaking. They go into the air tanks, and then they go into distributors. Those must be properly secured, not damaged. You've got more splash guards here. Must be properly secured, not damaged. Have DOT reflective tape, and must be no more than 8 inches off the ground. Actually, you've got what's called a tandem slide rail. Must be properly secured, not damaged. You've got a locking pin that goes through both sides of the tandem slide rail. Must be properly secured, not damaged. You've got the release lever, properly secured, not damaged, secured into the locked position. There should be an ABS light around here, properly secured, no damage, amber in color. Suspension, I'm sure I'm missing stuff, but suspension. Front hanger, properly secured, not damaged, properly greased. You've got your shock absorber, properly secured, not damaged, rubber bushings on the top and bottom, no leaks in that whole system there. Check your U-bolts or U-joints, properly secured, no damage, and should be tight. Check your upper and lower airbag supports, properly secured, no damage. Check your shackles, must be properly secured, no damage. Properly greased. Did I say airbag? Airbag, properly secured, no damage, no leaks. Control arm. Oh crap, I did forget something. Control arm, properly secured, no damage. There's also a control arm on the drive axle. I failed my test. Well, I didn't fail it, but I forgot one thing. That's embarrassing. Control arm, properly secured, not damaged. Brakes, it's the same as everything else. Check the airlines and blah, 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 and do that. Yeah, brakes. Tires, they are the same as the drive axle, except these might have an outer oil hub where you check the oil levels. Other than that, it's the same. So they're also dualies. So it's the same. Moving to the back of the trailer. Oh, this is a shipping container. That's why it doesn't have clearance lights. But there should be 5 lights at the top. You've got the 3 ID lights on the top, red in color, properly secured, no damage, working properly. And the clearance lights, red in color, properly secured, no damage, working properly. Then at the bottom, I don't know why there's reverse lights on the back of this. Is that normal? Doesn't matter. You've got your brake lights and turn signals, properly damaged, properly secured, no damage, working properly, red in color. Woo! Blah. Okay, you've got your DOT bumper, properly secured, not damaged, between 24 and 36 inches off the ground. Locking rods, these bars here, properly secured, not damaged, straight so that they can be secured into the locking position. Door handles, properly secured, not damaged, able to secure themselves into the lock position. The doors, properly secured, not damaged, no bulges as a result of load shift, must be able to open and close. Door hinges must be able to support the weight of the doors. And, Yeah, that's all super sexy. And there should be a license plate here. Rear license plate. Properly secured, not damaged. Up to date, present, and all that good stuff. License plate lights. Properly secured, not damaged. Clear in color. And then, of course, I forgot. There's also the what's called the trailer landing gear right here. Should be properly secured, not damaged. You've got the hand crank that allows you to lower it. Should be properly secured, not damaged, and secured resting in its cradle. The actual landing gear shoes should be properly secured, not damaged, free of debris, and the landing gear legs properly secured, not damaged, and able to move freely. And that is all I remember from Section C. I'm pretty sure that's all of it. That's enough that you can pass. So I've just done an inspection of my truck. So now let's hop in and go for a drive. This might be terrible because this is in a video game. Not meant for this. Now here's one issue I have. Ignore those dead bodies. The mirrors don't work. But when you're driving, many turns you have to make. You basically either go halfway through the road, checking your mirrors, making sure the trailer's cleared enough of it. You then turn. I don't know what the turn signal's like in the video game or how accurate this is going to be. And then what you do, you kind of run the nose along the edge, and you let the trailer kind of follow through as you kind of slack off the turn. You get back onto the road, and then you can just go along your way. My teacher told me never go like this and go into the other lane and then turn. That is not how he wanted to teach us, so that's not what we're going to do. Instead, it's go halfway through the road, turn, and follow through, run along the edge, get back in the lane, and take all normal turns as wide as possible. These are pretty tight turns. Don't hit anything, obviously. I'm just going to take a shortcut here. Don't mind me. Oh, Jesus. And then we'll come back here later. Oh, crap. I jackknifed it. Okay. Oh, no. I lost my trailer. You failed your driving test. I can probably pick up another one, can't I? Let's just do that. No biggie. I don't have my hazmat endorsement, so I'm not going to pick up those tankers over there, but I can probably get another container, right? We'll just say I've adjusted the landing gear appropriately. We'll kind of back up, stop, line up straight, get out, make sure it's all good. The trailer itself should be low enough that it's kind of even with the fifth wheel down there, but it shouldn't be above it. There should be no gap because you want it to be close enough to lock into place. Delicious. We've got a new trailer. Big goods. Oh, look, a truck is leaving over there. So we're going to try and leave. Let's go back to driving properly after I run this stop sign. And let's get the frack out of here. Good. Do I have clearance? No. Why is that there? That is terrible. Okay. We want to get onto the highway. Okay, here we go. Yay, we're in a truck. And I can't really modulate the throttle, so I'm just going to floor it. But here we are. We're in the truck. We are driving. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to say, you should do a truck driver simulator or something. I don't actually know the way to the highway. It's been a long time since I've played this game. But let's get out onto the road. Green light. And I'm just going to have to do this to check my visibility. Oh, I'm clear to change lanes. I can't do turn signals in this game. You mother frick. Get out of here. Nice turn, you bozo. Hey, look, it's Big Goods. I've got a bigger truck than you, Mr. Big Goods. All right, here we go. I'm going to try and take this turn. So like I said, come about halfway out and then make the turn. Probably a little sooner than that. And then follow through, get back into that idiot just tried to cut through. Get into this lane here. Halfway through the road. Run over the homeless man. Make sure your route has good clearance. You don't want to end up going through a place that has, super low bridges. All right, another turn. Come to a stop. We're going to run over those bitches. Come about halfway through here like this, and then turn. Kill them. That was a pretty good one. Alright. Take this turn wide. Come to about here. Good. You can go to any, you can go to the lane you intend to go to, but use common sense. So far so good though. We've only killed 2 people. And the truck hasn't exploded. Now for the test, you are not allowed to shift in intersections, because if you miss a gear you might get hung up. And you never shift going over train tracks. And you never do that. You wait for your whole combination vehicle to get over the train tracks before you even go into any gear. Whether you're downshifting, upshifting, doesn't matter. Oh, I can't freaking see. Okay, well I did that just fine. I need to be taller. Alright, am I clear to merge? Yes, I am. Frick me. Alright, bye. I wanted to go this way. Alright, we are on the highway. We've only broken like 15 laws, but that's okay. The police don't exist. Typically, you stay in the right lane as much as possible. That's what you should do. There's no point in really trying to pass people. Just stay at the speed limit. Any tickets you get in a truck or in your own personal vehicle must be reported to your employer, because it affects their insurance and all that. And so just don't do that. And penalties for drunk driving in trucks or anything like that are much more severe. And I think it's different for normal licenses, but when you're in a truck and you have a CDL, you can't have any alcohol content in your system. So don't take cough medicine, sleeping medicine, or anything like that. You're actually not allowed to take a lot of medications because of being a CDL driver. You have to do like a DOT physical to prove that you're even physically like safe to do this as well. Can I? I'll just stay in this lane. We want to get onto the super main busy highway, don't we? Is that what's about to happen? This doesn't look like 60 miles an hour. So that's one of the other things, is that once you start getting up to the higher gears, it's a lot easier to speed, because the gears are super short. There's 10 gears in the ones that we practiced in. And we most of the time started in 3rd or 4th. And I think you start in lower gears if you have like a heavier load or something. See ya! Wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, we're truck driving. Just for reference, I ain't driving like this in real life. It's actually easier to drive this in real life than in this game. I'm not sure where we're actually taking this. I want to take it somewhere where I can try and demonstrate backing up. Can I actually just teleport here in this truck? Let's see if we can do that. Can we teleport this truck? I lost my trailer. That's okay, we'll get a new one. So let's say we've done our whole drive, and that we've got our trailer behind us, we'll just pretend. And, we're still taking turns wide, and we're following all procedures correctly and not doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm gonna go find a trailer real quick, and we'll pretend to back it in. Okay. Oh wait, no, we'll take that blue trailer. Perfect. Okay, here we are. We've made it to the dock. We've got our trailer. I don't know why we have a trailer. It should be a shipping container. Oh, it is a shipping container. Okay. Coming to about halfway. Frick. It's really hard to look around when it comes to parking a trailer at like a dock or a port or whatever. Basically, when you're backing, if the trailer starts to go off in that direction, steer like you're steering in the direction of that where the trailer is going, and it should correct it. It's a little awkward. It actually feels weird doing this in a bird's eye view. I want to jackknife it. So it's going left, so I'm steering left, and it kind of chases it a bit. Okay. Now we want to kind of push it this way. I jackknifed it. It just popped off. That's not what it's supposed to do. Okay, well, that's good to know. Here we go. Car. What the hell are you doing? I'm gonna turn this way to make it go that direction. Turn this way to straighten it out. It's kind of outside of the box, so we're gonna pull forward again. Again, much easier in real life. Alright, you know what? Come here. Okay. He's in a parking spot. We'll just, we'll deal with this My truck disappeared. God dang it. Alright, let's get another. Here's a red truck. Let's get another trailer. Crying out loud. Oh, look, an ambulance. Can I go now? Here we go. He's not worth it. Okay. There we go. That guy's just running away. Hold on. No witnesses. The truck disappeared again. Ah, for God's sake. I'm gonna call dispatch and be like, guys, the truck is gone. It disappeared. Can I spawn a vehicle? That would be a no. Crying out loud. Why? Why did they disappear like that? Oh my God, those barriers are very sturdy. Oh, look at all these freaking trailers. Bye. We're gonna park a trailer. God dang it. Back out on the road again. Alright, here we are. We're dropping off a trailer, and we're gonna try and park it in P15. Now, I haven't actually done a whole lot of yard training, so I don't actually know how to do the 45. So this is just gonna be, really awkward. And this is in a video game. My bumper is a little wiggly. We're gonna get there, though. We are gonna get there. I'm not really supposed to be crossing these lines, though. It actually is harder outside. Because I'm having to think about it a little more. You know what? We're gonna park it in P13 because this truck is probably gonna disappear anyways. So let's go back, turning into the direction it's going. So it looks from, like, if I'm looking in the mirror, this would look like it's going left. So I would turn left, straighten it out. All right, gotta straighten out again by pulling forward. Do not crash into me. All right, that's straightened out. Fine, bozo. Oh, God. No. Oh, it's so hard. The steering is so awkward with the controller. But we got it. Parked. And that's driving a truck. Trying to imitate life in a video game. Halt. Halt. Yeah, that's trucking. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I've been recording this for freaking an hour and 8 minutes. Well, time to go home. We've been working for 5 days. Now we got to do the hour reset. I'm going to go say hi to the wife and kids. I only killed 8 people today, or however many. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Whoa, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed today's video somehow. Hope you learned something. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye.